Japan is famous for its rich fishing traditions and advanced technology, which greatly contribute to its seafood industry. Among them, iwashime fishing is the most famous method used by Japanese fishermen, especially for catching tuna. It involves using a main fishing line stretching about 30 miles long in length with 2,000 branch hooks attached, hanging at intervals. Since mackerel and sardines are the most common baits here, this method is highly effective for catching large, deep-swimming species such as bluefin tuna. Japan is one of the largest consumers and harvesters of tuna in the world. About 1 million pounds of bluefin tuna were caught in 2022. On fishing boats, tuna are usually bled and gutted, then stored in ice or refrigerated seawater tanks. Tuna meant for export or storage are flash frozen at around -60 degrees Celsius to prevent ice crystal formation, which can damage the flesh. Premium bluefin tuna can be worth thousands of dollars, so fishermen handle them carefully to ensure minimal bruising for high-end sushi and sashimi. After landing at the port, the tuna are then taken to auction markets, the most famous being Toyosu Market in Tokyo, which replaced the iconic Tsukiji Market. At these auctions, tuna are carefully inspected and graded based on size, fat content, and overall quality. In 2019, a 276-kilogram bluefin tuna was sold for about $3.1 million. Traditionally, the first fish of the year is the most expensive, as it symbolizes a good harvest for the entire year. Modern tuna fishing also involves using massive nets over a mile long to encircle schools of tuna, usually near the surface. 51:0:03:14 大于0:03:16 966. Once the tuna are encircled, the bottom of the net is pulled tighter, trapping the fish inside. Hundreds of tons of fish can be hauled aboard within hours. Japan's catch of skipjack tuna reached about 663,000 tons in 2022. This species is typically used for canned tuna or dried fish flakes known as katsuobushi. On this Japanese pole and line fishing boat, fishermen stand in a row, each holding a rod, quickly hooking and hauling in tuna. As the name suggests, this traditional method involves using rods and lines, each equipped with a single hook. Anglers use live bait to attract the tuna and pull them aboard one by one. Though labor-intensive, each fisherman can catch more than 660 pounds of skipjack and yellowfin tuna in just 1 hour without using large nets. Yellowfin tuna fishing produced about 200 million pounds in 2022, mainly for fresh consumption and canning. Squid is a popular ingredient in many Japanese dishes, such as the famous grilled squid, served as street food. Fish markets also play an important role. Japan exports around 340,000 pounds of squid to countries such as China, South Korea, and the United States. The most common method for catching squid is jigging, which involves using lines fitted with multiple lures or artificial baits that mimic small fish or other prey. These lures have barbless hooks designed to catch the squid's tentacles. Squid are attracted to light, so many Japanese fishing boats use powerful lamps at night to lure them to the surface. Jigging can be done manually or with mechanized jigging machines, which are more efficient for commercial fishing. A Japanese squid fishing vessel may operate dozens of jigging lines simultaneously, each equipped with several lures. 101 0:06:31:066 大于0:06:32:900 900. To maximize the catch, the main squid species caught in Japan include the Japanese flying squid and the neon flying squid. In 2022, Japan's squid catch totaled about 989,000 pounds. Some squid species are also caught using bottom or mid-water trawls, which involve dragging large nets through the water. Trawling is less selective than jigging and can lead to higher bycatch rates, but it is effective for catching large quantities of squid. Compared with jigging, it is less popular. Pod fishing uses handcrafted traps, often baited with small fish, and left in the ocean for several hours to a day before being harvested. This method is also used for catching octopus in some traditional fishing areas, such as Hokkaido and Nagasaki. After being caught, squid are usually cleaned and chilled immediately to preserve freshness. Then they are sorted by species, size, and quality. At processing plants, the squid are thoroughly cleaned and gutted. This includes removing the head and internal organs, as well as the ink sac and sometimes the skin. Most factories here employ hundreds of skilled workers for these tasks to ensure efficiency and hygiene. Together, they can process around 8,000 squid per hour. Depending on the final product, squid are cut and prepared in various ways. Preparation includes slicing into rings, cutting into strips, or preparing whole squid for grilling or boiling. Once frozen, the squid are vacuum sealed and packaged for retail or bulk distribution. Some squid are also processed into surimi, used to make imitation crab paste, and other seafood products. Dried grilled squid in Japan is also a popular snack. The squid are cleaned and cut open. 151 0小时09分36秒600大于0小时09分40秒666 Then naturally dried or placed in special ovens to dry. Longline fishing is the most common method used in Japan to catch marlin. This technique involves setting a long main line, often several kilometers in length, with numerous branch lines called snoods, each ending with a baited hook. In 2022, Japan's marlin catch was about 5,000 metric tons. Blue marlin accounted for around 60% of that catch, and about 30% consisted of striped marlin, with the remaining species such as black marlin and white marlin making up the rest. Although not a major commercial practice, big game sport fishing is a popular pastime in Japan, especially for marlin tournaments and charter trips. Adequate common, particularly around Okinawa and the southern islands. A mature marlin typically weighs around 680 pounds, but can exceed 1,800 pounds. Sport fishermen target marlin off the coast of Okinawa, using heavy rods and reels, capable of withstanding drag pressures of up to 80 pounds. Live tuna, bait or artificial lures, are often used to attract these powerful predators. Harpoon fishing is a traditional method, still practiced in certain regions. It involves manually or mechanically throwing harpoons to catch marlin. This method is highly selective, but requires great skill and experience. In some coastal areas, experienced fishermen use harpoons to catch marlin during migration periods, when these fish come close to shore. In 2023, Japan exported over 1,000 metric tons of marlin, mainly to the United States and European markets. Demand for premium seafood remains high. Large, high-quality marlin are often handled differently from smaller or damaged ones. A blue marlin caught off the coast of Okinawa is immediately chilled or filleted for consumption to preserve freshness. At processing facilities, marlin are thoroughly cleaned. 201 0小时13分07秒400大于0小时13分09秒500 This includes removing the head, the internal organs, and other inedible parts. Then the fish is filleted, separating the meat from the bones and skin. Automatic slicers are often used to increase efficiency and ensure even cuts. At this processing plant in Rio, advanced slicing machines can process hundreds of kilograms of marlin meat every hour. Marlin steaks are vacuum-packed and sold in supermarkets across Japan. Premium marlin meat, especially from species like the blue marlin, is often used for sashimi and sushi. The fillets are thinly sliced and packaged for retail or restaurant use. Hello, my friends. What happens aboard a fishing boat in Korean waters? How do fishermen bring seafood from the sea to one of the world's most famous seafood markets? Now, let's see how Korean fishermen catch and process millions of tons of seafood. Along the Korean coastline, mackerel are caught in large quantities. It is also a common food ingredient, regularly appearing on dining tables. Mackerel fishing varies by region. For example, the U.S. commercial Atlantic mackerel fishery operates from January to May with an annual value of about $11 million. While most catches occur in Korea, the mackerel fishing season lasts from October to March of the following year. As water temperatures rise, mackerel migrate to the Yellow Sea, causing their numbers to peak, which makes it easier to achieve abundant harvests. In 2022, Korea caught about 151,000 tons of mackerel on other fishing vessels. If the weather is poor or tides are unfavorable, the number of fish caught is limited. So large, cooperativa fleets gather once a day with their own crews of fishermen. They concentrate in the waters near Pyongyang and in the southern port of Namhai. 251 0小时16分45秒 566大于0小时16分48秒 966 3 to 4 anglers go fishing together. If there are plenty of mackerel, they can quickly fill their coolers, so fishing trips are relatively short, lasting about 4 to 6 hours. Some fishermen even enjoy sashimi, made from freshly caught mackerel on board. Customers always prefer mackerel processed quickly to preserve its fresh taste. So after the catch, the distribution process becomes a race against time. Mackerel are stored in the ship's hold and then lifted by cranes for transfer to transport trucks. It's a wonderful sight as trucks unload tons of mackerel and workers begin the sorting process. 70,000 mackerel are hand-sorted over 8 hours. Each mackerel goes through a screening process based on size, determining different prices and uses. Aside from those used immediately, the remaining fish are packed and preserved. Because freshness is key, packing takes place alongside the auction, and fish go straight into cold storage. After the mackerel are gutted, they are rinsed with salt water and heavily salted for preservation. After about a month, the brine turns clear, signaling that the flavor is ready. This is a popular preservation method, and salted mackerel can be eaten after about 20 days. The Busan fish market has turned Busan into one of the most famous seafood cities. Daily traders here handle fish worth thousands of dollars as buyers and sellers gather in one place to purchase the finest seafood products. Thousands of tons of mackerel are traded here daily. 90% of seafood distributed nationwide comes through this market, making it one of the best seafood hubs in the world. Korea's fishing industry plays a significant role in both the national economy and the global seafood market. Senbei 0小时20分13秒 766大于0小时20分15秒 100. In addition to mackerel, Alaskan pollock is also very popular. This fish is common around the Korean peninsula. Fishermen mainly use large trawl fishing methods, including midwater and bottom trawling. These techniques are effective for catching large quantities, especially in deep waters where cod-like fish live. But in 2023, reports indicated that Korea's pollock catch was about 321,000 tons, with fishing taking place in both domestic waters, such as the South Sea, and international waters, including the Bering Sea. It's also a popular sport fishing area in the United States. In 2023, the total value of commercial fishing in the Bering Sea and Gulf of Alaska was estimated at $383 million. To ensure sustainable management, the Korean government enforces strict regulations, including total allowable catch limits, seasonal closures, and gear restrictions. To minimize the impact on pollock populations, pollock is an important commodity for Korea's economy. It is processed into various products, such as surimi and fillets. The industry supports not only domestic consumption, but also significant export volumes, contributing to the national economy. This is where its unique flavor comes from. through a traditional freeze-drying process. Once caught, pollock are cleaned and prepared before being hung outdoors in cold, windy conditions for 40 to 90 days. The fish slowly dries, freezing at night and thawing during the day. This cycle repeats daily, causing the flesh to contract and expand, which concentrates the flavor. Korea's pollock fishery faces many challenges. Pollock numbers have declined due to environmental changes, overfishing, and natural predation. These fluctuations pose major challenges to maintaining stable catch levels. Korean fishermen must also compete with fleets from other nations. 351 0小时23分47秒466大于0小时23分49秒633 especially in the Bering Sea, which can sometimes lead to conflicts over fishing rights and quotas. Next comes squid, one of the most stable products along Korea's east coast and fisheries, as well as one of the most consumed seafoods in the country. Squid fishing boats head out to sea during the fishing season, which runs from May to November. Before departure, fishermen prepare large blocks of ice. Since short-hulled boats often lack refrigeration systems, ice is the only means of preservation, and at the same time, it gives fishermen peace of mind. While fishing in remote offshore areas, squid are most attracted to white and green light, so the best time to fish is at night. Boats line their decks with ultra-bright lamps and lures to attract feeding squid. Fishermen use barbed lines underwater to hook the squid and flip them onto the side of the boat. This is a characteristic of squid jigging vessels. Each side of the boat is fitted with about 200 high-powered bulbs. These lamps hang from racks and are used to lure deep-sea squid. When the lights are switched on at night, they shine brightly in the dark sea. The glow from squid boats can be seen with the naked eye from more than 100 miles away, making it easier to locate squid grounds. When the timing is right, dozens of fishing lines are dropped into the water. Under the bright lights, each line is equipped with specialized squid hooks. When a squid bites the line, the reels automatically lift it onto the deck. Baskets placed nearby catch all the falling squid. How the squid is stored after capture is a key factor in determining its quality and taste. The first 20 minutes after catching are the golden window for preservation. Squid populations have recently declined, causing concern among fishermen. 401 0小时27分03秒733大于0小时27分06秒233 They are then placed in ice boxes to preserve freshness and maintain their striking coloration. When the boats finally reach shore, the squid are delivered to customers within 24 hours of being caught. For longer sea journeys, the squid are frozen into blocks to ensure quality. Freshly caught squid are moved along conveyor belts straight into the hold. Fishermen arrange them neatly on trays like this. After that, the trays are placed into cold storage units. Using fishing gear with LED lights is one of the most efficient methods and has minimal impact on the marine environment. Compared to pollock fishing, the bycatch rate in squid fisheries is very low. This is because only squid are attracted to these specialized lures, making the bycatch rate minimal. Shrimp fishing is also an important part of Korea's marine economy. Fishermen use advanced fishing methods to harvest efficiently and sustainably. Bottom traveling is the main method used by Korean shrimp fishers. They drag nets across the seabed to catch shrimp. This method is popular for harvesting large amounts of shrimp and is mainly used in nearshore waters of 2 coastal regions. Fishermen tow nets at different depths in the water column, allowing them to target shrimp species that don't live directly on the seabed. However, trawling is selectively applied depending on shrimp species and their behavior. Modern shrimp vessels are equipped with advanced technologies such as sonar and GPS to locate shrimp schools more efficiently. These technologies help fishermen optimize their catch while reducing time spent at sea. Along Korea's southern coast, including the waters around Jeju Island, The region is known for its diverse marine life and abundant shrimp populations. 451 0:30:12:00大于0:30:12:00 966 Warm currents and varied underwater terrain make this an ideal place for shrimp fishing. According to the latest statistics, Korea's total shrimp catch in 2023 reached as high as 50,000 tons. Similar to fish or squid, shrimp fishing is prohibited during certain periods to allow stocks to recover and reproduce. The fishing industry creates additional jobs in processing plants, where shrimp are prepared for domestic and export consumption. Korean shrimp are popular in international markets, especially in Japan, the United States, and European countries